Hey, hello and welcome. Tina here, psychic medium, old school biker, just an old mama that's been around the track a couple times. um, Wanting to talk to you today about the soul contract. Those of you that follow me on Facebook, I asked the question, do you know what a soul contract is? Very few of you know what a soul contract actually what it is. Now, let's see, where do I begin with this? I'm going to do it in the easiest terms I can. You know what? I never use notes. I always just kind of work off the cuff, let spirit guide me, and a lot of times I channel what I'm saying and when I'm saying it. I do have the paranormal flashlight set up back here. It hasn't been responding real good, real fast, but it's up and it's on nonetheless. So you may see that throughout the video. Soul contract is literally before we are born, our souls all stand before God. Now, that God is different for everybody. Basically, now what I believe it is a collective. It is not one soul, single person. We are God. We have God in us. But our soul does stand before God. Okay? Great Spirit, Source, the universe, whatever, however you want to term that, whatever works for you. And before we come down here, and we are still a twinkle in mommy and daddy's eye, we come into agreement on some of the things that are going to happen while we're here. Usually it's just the big stuff, okay? Super big stuff, like the meat suit that we're going to put on. I know I hate that terminology when I hear somebody else refer to it as a meat suit, but literally that's all it is. We are able to pick and choose what kind of body we are coming into. Healthy body, handicapped, diseased. We choose a lot of things that are going to impact us about our body. For example, maybe somebody may be born, I mentioned handicap, with a deformity or something different. Let's just say an overbite, okay? Something that is going to impact you through your life. Let's just say you do have, we're born with the old-fashioned, I don't want to call them buck teeth, but, for lack of a better word, as you grow up, you're teased and hounded, picked on, ridiculed. You feel bad that you don't look like other people. It could be lack of hair. So there's a lot of things that we do get to pick out for this body that we come down here in. We also pick out the parents. I remember when I was a kid, I would get angry at my mom and dad, tiny, like 2 or 3, 4. I was gifted even then, but I wasn't educated, just still a kid. Throw a temper tantrum and I would say, I didn't ask to be born. Oh, yes, I did. I even picked out those parents. Now, we choose those parents because they are going to be part of our experience. They add to it. We help them with their experience. They help us with our experience. And if it is not an easy experience, we chose it. I know a young man that just came in here this week, grew up in a small town, and he grew up in horrible poverty. The family was very, very broke and poor. Made that choice. to come into that circumstance, made that choice. Now, our soul makes these choices because they add to our learning and growing experience. And when we go back to the other side, we take that information back with us. We also choose some of the major trials and tribulations that happen. Accidents, some big major accidents, things that really impact us. For example, I did a reading for a fella who lost a leg in a motorcycle accident. Chose that before he got here. Now, when it happened, when things do happen down here for us, it does feel like it's out of control. It feels like it's mayhem, chaos, bad accident, house fire, who knows? Wide variety of traumatic things can happen. But that's all for the growing and the learning experience. How do you develop from that? Do you become a more loving, caring person? Or does it harden you? Another one of the trials and tribulations and the kind of tough things, accidents, murder. I work with a lot of families that have lost somebody due to murder. And they are absolutely devastated that another human being took their loved one's life. Now, this is a new way to look at this. Some of you have never even heard this concept before, so it's a little hard to grasp. And the only reason I know this is because anytime I have connected to those loved ones that were taken off of this plane due to somebody else by intention, they tell me that they chose it prior to. The murderer and the victim both agree to it. Now, maybe last time around, last incarnation on this earth, prior to coming back this time, and we don't just come here 1 or 2 times, we don't come here half a dozen times, we literally are here maybe hundreds of times, okay? But they come into agreement on that. And last time around, maybe the person that got murdered was the murderer. But you know what? God does not, since it's already predestined and predetermined, our God source does not hold that against anybody. We also have choices that we can make beforehand too. Spouses, loved ones, people that come into your life. Those are soulmates, sure, but anybody can be a soulmate. Like I often say, that 5th grade teacher that impacted you, that, inspired you to go on and become a biochemist or whatever. We make that choice ahead of time too, kind of where we're going to gravitate to. Where are we going to lend our talents when we come down as a heavenly being and we're coming down here? Where do we lend our talents? So we kind of choose that too. We choose the people that we are going to impact also. That soulmate connection. That's a soulmate connection. Soulmate is anybody that you've kind of gone around and around with before. They could be a cousin. It could be that 5th grade teacher. It could be the old guy that you've watched at the gas station for years and years, and he taught you a few things. That's a soulmate. Now, the true connection, the loving, heavier connections with a spouse, those are often twin flames. And a twin flame is simply a single soul that splits and comes down into two different bodies. That's why some people, when they come together, stay together. It is also why when some people come together, they don't stay together. Time to move on, time for more experience, time for more life, time to try again. So the soul contract is something that we agree to. And one of the other things that we agree to is the length of time we have here. And I spoke to you about accidents, murders, suicides. That's all predetermined in that date when we choose that time that we're going to leave, or we agree to it, however we do it. We agree to that time frame, and I have truly, truly, truly never ever seen anybody die that wasn't ready. Whether it was even by accident, murder, somebody very young dying untimely of cancer, that kind of thing. I have once I connect to their soul on the other side and their spirit, they all acknowledge they left the day they were supposed to. They left on the day they had agreed on. Now, for those of you that have lost somebody to suicide, you're often taught in modern Christianity that they go to hell. They're stuck in purgatory. They're in limbo. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Because that day when that soul is meant to leave is not an easy thing to do. If it hasn't already happened by natural causes, old age, if it hasn't happened by disease, accident, if it hasn't happened by murder, then that soul completes its final and highest obligation to our God source and leaves on the day that it was supposed to. However traumatic it can be for the family, and it leaves families just devastated. All the questions. Could I have stopped him? How did I let this? All those questions that families have. That soul now sits at the right hand of God because it completed that final task and final obligation, as knowing that it would be so painful to do that. So there you have it. That's kind of what a soul contract is. We come into agreements on so many things before we get here that we literally sometimes may feel like we're a puppet following the script. And there are some people that actually describe it that way, that this is a and kind of an artificial intelligence kind of thing down here, and we are the game. You might want to think that way if you want to. I'm not so sure I like that analogy, but everything goes according to plan. Everything happens for a reason. Now, you can change some of those things. You can alter a little bit of that. And the only way is with prayer. The only way is with love. Spreading that love. Putting that prayer out there. Well, there you have it. That's the soul contract. I hope I didn't confuse you even more. I didn't want to scare you. Everything, like I said, everything happens for a reason. But that's a soul contract. So make the best of it. Don't let it bum you out. If you were that kid that had buck teeth, trust me, someday you can get your dental work and get those caps and crowns and get that all fixed up. All right, you guys, I am going to let you go with that. I hope I didn't scare anybody, but that's kind of what it is. Kind of in a nutshell, that's my interpretation and my take on it. If this resonated with you, please hit that like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And again, there's that paranormal flashlight. It's not doing anything today. Not responding. All right. Never leave you that I don't bless you with love and light. See you soon.